Hey there, welcome to my review of Lawrence of Arabia. Just finished watching the movie, actually. It's very long. Overall, I really enjoyed it. It was an amazing story. The thing about it is that it's based on a true story, so it's not like you can criticize what happened, I guess. There were a few characters that I felt could have been developed more, specifically the character that he rescues from the desert and then has to. By the way, a lot of spoilers in this review because I'm gonna just flesh out my opinions on pieces of the movie. Then he has to kill, and though that guy was apparent in many scenes, they didn't really develop any character of him. So, I don't know. I felt like it could have been more moving that Lawrence had to kill him. Whereas it was sort of just cruel irony or something like that. I thought it was a really weird, like the angle the director took on it, in that like Lawrence originally starts out as this very um, looking for the word. He's merciful. He's a very merciful human being, and then as screwed up things happen to him and people he cares about die, he becomes much less merciful. To the point at the end where he screams, "Take no prisoners," which is sort of crazy. And for being made in, what's the copyright on this guy? Um, well, this DVD was made in 2002, but the original Lawrence of Arabia movie, well, it won 1962 Best Picture. So I'm guessing it was made 1961, 1962. Um, it had some pretty crazy things in it, like, the whole implied rape of Lawrence by that Turkish officer. That was pretty crazy. I thought it was sad that in the beginning of the movie he just dies in a motorcycle accident. Like, that's kind of a shitty way to go for someone who had lived, like, such a ridiculous, like, amazingly impactful life. In America, and in, like, most of the pop culture that surrounds me, we are way more concerned about World War II than World War One. Mainly because that's sort of the war that we can hang our hat on as if we, were amazingly awesome good guys, when, most of Europe had much more of a hand in that war, and, Britain, for example, fought the war for far longer than we did. Jake, I'm kind of curious of like when you're studying history in grade school and in middle school and high school, what wars they concentrate the most on. For us, it's definitely World War II. And video games are always made about World War II. Not a lot of video games made about World War One. I guess it's just because World War One was much more of a war about a lot of complicated things. Where it was in an era where it was, I guess, more just okay to hate another country blindly and want to take what is theirs. And then when World War II came around, it's sort of like, though there were a lot of economic influences for World War II, like one of the major reasons I think that we got into it, aside from, well, I mean, Pearl Harbor, obviously, but like the whole idea of Germany owning all of Europe economically was bad for us, and there was certainly advisors that were going like, we should really enter the war and make sure Germany doesn't take all of Europe because that won't work out in a global economy well, which is so sad. Whereas really, it should be more like we all. I mean, there's the idea that the world is sort of has had its borders divided. Hopefully, I mean, outside from the whole Israel conflict and all that, but it's no longer okay to just be like, we're going to go to war and we're going to take what is yours because we want to take it and because you're weaker than us. And so, I guess I don't remember why I went in that tangent. But overall, I liked it. I thought the acting was really, really good, especially Peter O'Toole. Amazing acting in this movie. It's such a crazy, amazing story. I thought it was long. I thought the first half was kind of slow. I don't think it's my favorite movie of all time, certainly. I probably wouldn't watch it again. At least not for a long time. I mean, it's for its time, I guess it's amazing cinema, but like I don't know. It's just it didn't grab me, I guess. Also, I couldn't tell if Lawrence was gay or British, or some combination of the two. Which I don't know if the character T.E. Lawrence was historically homosexual, but that was definitely the direction that I read with the character, and maybe I just can't tell the difference between British or gay. But yeah, liked the newspaper report too. I thought this movie has a lot of good lines, a lot of really good lines. Like, I've never seen someone get killed with a sword before, and then Lawrence goes, "Why don't you take a picture?" And he responds, "Nah, I wish I had." So yeah, the writing was very good. Just a lot of good character dynamics too, or like the character who is like at the end is trying to get into politics, gets introduced by just murdering someone for being of a different tribe, and then that character definitely develops and changes, sort of in contrast to Lawrence's character developing, and just sort of this back and forth. And Lawrence is always wearing white, and he's always wearing black, and then it's sort of towards the end that gets almost reversed, where he's wearing black, but he's clearly the good guy, whereas Lawrence is wearing white and yelling, kill all of the Turks, mainly because, he's been psychologically hurt by the Turkish general, which was such a, wow, I mean, wow. Anyway, I'm still in shock from just finishing the movie. So I'm going to edit this up and post it. Jake is posting his video on Sunday. He sent me a message. Don't worry about it, Jake. I'm sure you'll like this if you don't. The other thing about this is that it really made Lawrence out to be a masochist. When he's burning the match at the beginning, that's sort of like, it hurts, but the trick is not minding that it hurts. And so he has that mentality of enjoying pain, which it really even contrasts more with with the general beating him and then presumably raping him later. Very, very screwed up, but very good at the same time. Not good that he got raped, but like the presentation and the story and showing his reaction and the acting, it was all quite good. I would suggest watching this at least once in your life. Even though I'm saying I wouldn't want to watch it again for a long time, it's because the movie is 217 minutes. It's a long movie, but it is a good movie. It is an amazing story. Like, you don't learn about this and you really should. It's like, I mean, it's pretty rare actually that a movie depicts Arab culture the way this movie does, and is not in a negative light entirely. Like, most of it is depicting Arabs as, they want to have their country and they want, I mean, there are clear limitations which aren't really their fault. It's just they haven't been modernized yet at that point in time, and there's still tribal struggles, and Lawrence is trying to bring them all together and have them get over their petty differences to sort of build an Arab country and a national Arab identity, and ultimately it's too difficult for him, but he tried. He did a lot of crazy stuff. All right, I gotta go. And this has been a long review. And I'm sorry that it wasn't that interesting, but I do suggest that movie, so watch it. See you.